Yeah, because they have to do it. Our people don't.
But let's start off with the controversy that's been going on in hip hop. And that's with your brother, our brother. Well, I don't know about that, but nah, Fat Joe, man.
Right.
He made a controversial statement, what some people call a controversial statement about Latinos and blacks starting hip hop. So I'm going to just play what he said and then we'll talk about it.
Talking about Latinos wasn't in rap and this and this. These guys are delusional. We're from the Bronx, New York. It happens. And so when hip hop started, it's Latino and black, half and half. But they going at me because I'm like the only Spanish dude, like really with a big voice. And Latinos wasn't there. You was invited. You are a specimen. I don't know what the f is up with these people that don't know their facts.
That's the gist of it.
Right.
You know, I'll let you go ahead and kick it off, man. What do you think about the backlashes Fat Joe's getting, and then the people, you know, going at him saying that, you know, hip hop's was just black people who started it.
Here's my thing, and this is the big conversation that we've had with Fat Joe, or I say we, the people that have criticism or are upset about what he said. The conversation's been going on about him using the N-word, you know what I mean, and the people, how he was raised, and he was raised around blacks, so he accepted it. His friends and the people that were around him at that time who were black accepted him doing it, so he felt comfortable doing it, therefore he does it, and now people on the outside, some people have an issue with it. And it kind of streams and bleeds right into hip-hop. My only thing I'd say to Fat Joe, if that's in fact true, because I almost can guarantee you, yes, there were Latinos out there, and I'm sure some of them were busting rhymes, but you got to prove it. Who were they? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If we want to know the facts, then who were they? I'm not here to argue that, but when we know who created hip-hop, and it's been long reported, this ain't something that just came out last week. It's been blacks, been the pioneers of hip-hop since forever, and you've been out for the last 3 decades, and I've never once even heard you say, wait a minute, hold the phone, Latinos were in there too. It was half and half. That's the biggest thing, half and half, bro, hold on.
Yeah, that's where he kind of messed up.
Hold on. Prove it, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to jump off the roof and call him a culture vulture or anything like that, not Fat Joe, because he's been accepted in this culture for a very long time, and I don't want to say that Latinos don't have a big part. They didn't create it. But I don't want to say they didn't have a big part.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I can see where people can get upset when I'm saying half and half.
I was going to say that you got to come up with the name. Like, if you want to come up with the name of the people who started, okay, they say this person, and you give the example. Which one of those people was a Latino?
Word.
Is the question. If you could show that, that's one thing. But then you got the other conversation, like you said, like, yeah, I'm sure they was a part of the culture, because you look at the Bronx at that time, Latinos and blacks was together. You know what I mean? A lot of the neighborhoods going through a lot of the struggles. But I find it kind of ironic that people, you know, when it comes to things that are negative connotation, they don't want to be a part of nothing that got to do with going black. But then when it's a part of being something that's, you know, that was championed or recreation that blacks did, you know, they want to be a part of it. Because let's be real, like, we love our Latino brothers and sisters and all that. And my son is mixed, you know, he's half Puerto Rican, you know what I'm saying? So there's no way I can hate them. But the thing is, right, that this is clear difference. Like, if you go to a Puerto Rican Day parade, they celebrating Puerto Rican heritage. You go to a Dominican parade, they selling the Dominican heritage. Haitian heritage, which I seen was a part of being Latino. Haitian too. Right. That's another story. So I do believe that all of us are one, but there are cultural differences. Like, you could say, okay, yeah, they came over and dropped people off in Puerto Rico and dropped people off here, and, you know, they're a mixture of black, Taino, and, you know, European, whatever the case may be. Okay, and you got people dark as me on the island, I understand that, but there are cultural differences. I think in all, like, a Puerto Rican from Puerto Rico, it's gonna be some differences from a black guy from New York. It's gonna be similarities, right, but it's gonna be differences. One, because a lot of those people have their culture. Their culture is intact. They got the language, you know, they got the flag. They got places that, you know, their own food that they can go back. That's their people. Black people don't necessarily have that to an extent other people do. So there is There's things that are same and there's things that are different between the different races, in my opinion.
You know, and I think you saying that's where we get the level of emotion when it comes to our culture, because we don't have anything to cling on to. We don't have a flag. We don't have a festival. We don't have that. So when you talk about hip hop, hold the fucking phone. That's the one thing that is revolutionized and changed. We don't have much. You're not going to do that too. And I just don't. I don't know if he'll take it back. I don't know if he'll come with any evidence. But the half and half thing definitely gives me a cause to pause on that situation. Like, where do you really think about it? Why does it seem like we always got to water down our culture? Like you said, you don't want to be involved when it comes to the violence that's going on in there. We don't talk about Puerto Rican on Puerto Rican violence.
They want to be classified as black, a lot of them.
A lot of them don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. It's cool when it's cool, but when it ain't, y'all, it's easy to kind of throw us under the door. And y'all don't do that with anything else. Y'all wear that flag proudly. And like you said, I'm half Puerto Rican. Yeah,
right. They gonna think you not listening to this, but
you know what I mean. It's hard to believe. You know what I'm saying? If I got pulled over by the cop, I'm not gonna give fucking a little bit of a break because I'm half Puerto Rican. They see nigga. That's what it is. So I wear it. You know what I'm saying? But
it's just the labels, man. I think the labels. Once they put the word Hispanic in, and then Latino, and all these different words, and Black and African American, it just put up lines of division. You know what I mean? I think that now it's like, okay, I'm this. Because the first thing he said was, I'm Spanish. So, okay, now we claiming colonizers out here. You know what I mean? Damn. So, it's weird, man.
Damn.
And all of them say that I'm Spanish. Now, you speak Spanish.
Proud.
Right.
Don't even know that's that. Like, it goes deep, man. But you can't, look, you couldn't tell my grandma that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I know plenty of other well-eyes you cannot tell that.
And I'm not saying nothing wrong with speaking Spanish. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like English. This was something that was, the colonizers that colonized these places where your ancestors were. This is their language that was given to the people.
It's some real ones that know that. I'm seeing a lot more.
Yeah.
They call themselves Afro-Latinos and things like that, and I think that's dope, where they kind of understand that this shit was kind of put on them too, a little bit saucy and different.
They can't deny that African culture.
Mm-hmm.
They
and that's
can't.
what they try to do.
Right, you can't. And a lot of them do. You can't. Even like the sauce and all that comes from African. Mm-hmm. The religions and stuff is African. What's this? The Santeria and all the stuff they practice. This stuff all goes back to the West Coast of Africa. If I'm wrong, I know somebody will correct me. So it's like you can't really break the it's the connection is definitely there. But I think a lot of people are ashamed of being black because of the condition that we're in. More people want to be classified as European or something closer to light skin as something closer to dark skin, in my opinion. I think that's still here too as well.
That's a fact. Because it's getting way more popular to be black with everything that's going on now. But when we grew up, it wasn't popular to be black. You tried to, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm Puerto Rican. I'm this. Nah. You identify with an identity crisis because it's like, wait a minute, they precondition you to think who you are is bad, who you are is wrong. What they show you on TV, what they display on the news and shit like that, they already precondition you to thinking that, nah, I can't be classified as that because as a whole we fucked up, and nah, it's not the case, man.
Yeah,
there's so many great things going on in our culture, but we just gotta move in some directions that are more elevating to the culture. But
that's real shit.
Picking gripes with Fat Joe, I think will kind of stall that. Half and half, get the fuck out of here, prove it. But let's move on.
Yeah, he tried. That's like when you give somebody an inch to take a yard. He took a yard with that one. Exactly. Come on, Joe.
Come on, man.